I'm Ann Marie McQueen, journalist and proud 50-ish woman, and we are here looking for the true truth in perimenopause, menopause, midlife, and beyond.
Opening our minds to other possibilities is not always easy.
Hotflash Inc.
You're all woman to me. All right, Ann Marie.
There's so many good things when I talk to you, and I don't want to miss any. Do you mind?
No, let's go for it. I want you to tell your listeners, though, about the fiasco of that washing machine. I think that's a brilliant story. I've told loads of people.
This is how I'm special or neurodivergent or something, because I went on Kristeen's podcast. And right before that, I put in a load of washing. And I live in a one-bedroom apartment, and I didn't even close the door. And that washing machine is so loud. And I was just continuing to talk to you like nothing.
It sounded like a wreck-it room. Have you ever seen people just destroying? You can go and pay for a room.
Oh, yeah. Smash room. Yeah.
It sounded like somebody was doing a smash room in your apartment.
It's insane.
And she didn't even hear it. She was just talking, and I was like, sweating and everything.
And this is where I was just saying to you, like, I could hear like something so small and be driven nuts by it. But then that.
Yeah.
I am very weird. I don't even know. You know, when you just don't even want to think about all the things you've done and all the interviews you've been in and all the strange things you might have done that people didn't say something about? Like, it keeps me up at night. I want to give a shout out to Mental Labs. They were one of the gold sponsors of my first ever Hotflash Inc. Summit, which is coming back this year. Mental Labs is here to support you in perimenopause with a range of science-backed products like their bestseller, MenoFit. This is a probiotic designed to help you get relief from perimenopause and menopause symptoms, including hot flashes and night sweats. It's all about that gut. Right now, they're offering our Hotflash Inc. listeners 20% off using code HOTFLASH20 at menolabs.com. That's code HOTFLASH20 at menolabs.com.
No, it makes you. It's like endearing and lovable, and that's what we like. In a world of AI, where everything's like, and then you come on with your washing machine blaring, like that's what I want.
You know, when they're saying like, oh, real people are going to be so popular because of AI, it's like, no problem. That will be no problem for me.
I think this is our time, by the way. I'm like, oh, thank you, AI.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right. Yeah. It's the people who've had this veneer of perfection that are going to have a really hard time, because it's like, what?
100%.
Yeah. It's weird. I feel like when you get older, if you just wait, like things come around. They're coming around.
I think so too. And I think as well, like a lot of people are asking me now what I think of like ChatGPT, AI taking over the fitness industry.
Yeah.
I'm like, no problem. Because honestly, like I think the people will struggle in the fitness industry just from the fact that they've not got massively fun personalities.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, they could be replaced easily by a fucking robot. But I mean, that's been the case for 20 years since I've been in the industry.
Profound lack of sense of humor is a problem in the fitness industry. Yeah.
We think so, don't we?
Why do you think that is?
I think a lot of people get into the fitness industry. I think it's a fairly boring industry. Do you like see people trying to make it look, sex it up a bit and make things look a bit kind of, it's quite hard to do because it's very basic, like how you lose weight. It's quite boring, quite consistent. If you want to do body recomposition, it's quite boring. It's quite, repetitive. So I think it attracts people like that quite a lot of the time. Like, my friends that are coaches that do bodybuilding, like they're eating out of Tupperware, they're going to bed at 8:30, they get up at 5 for the cross trainer. Like it seeks out a type of boring kind of person. So I think in the industry, I think it's probably lacking. And as we've said before, there's quite a dark side to the fitness industry.
Yeah.
Eating disorders, OCD behaviour, body checking.
Self-loathing.
In the industry. Self-loathing. We've seen it. We've seen it.
Okay. This is the thing that is so... First of all, two things about that boring, because that's such a good point. And, I know us like me, I'm considering myself a normie. Like I work out, but I don't obsess. I used to, but I don't. Like I'm just try to be as fit as I can without talking about it too much. But in my life, I went on a date with this guy once and he bored me almost to tears and to sleep because he went on and on about his chicken breasts and his broccoli.
Lord.
And this was when I was very fit and eating well, but he was just like a muscle and it was the most boring thing. And I just thought like I could never, I've thought about it a lot. I just don't think I could date someone that like consistent and boring.
Yeah. This is the thing.
And years ago, sorry, one more thing is my boyfriend years ago had a room. He always told me about his roommate who was super fit. And I mean, this is way back in the 90s when no one was like working out. And this guy would just come home and say to his two roommates, like, worked out today. And then there'd be this dramatic pause. And then there'd be legs.
Yeah.
Legs.
Yeah.
And the two guys that he lived with would be sitting on the couch smoking and eating chips. And they were like so jaded and cynical. And they'd be like, interesting.
Yeah, but see, seriously, like you get them and they're like, you said you dated that guy, he's probably sitting pecs, gorgeous.
Oh, he was ripped.
And then no chat unless you want to talk about how much you deadlift and how many grams of protein they eat.
And I've been like this, and I've had real spurts in my life. Like I trained for a marathon. I've had real spurts where I've been super fit, and then I've become that person, and I know that I'm boring people. So, but
Yeah.
it's interesting to talk about that. But the dark side is something that I want to talk about with you because we've talked about it on your podcast the many, many times I've been on. I am finally having you on my podcast. I know that you're a little bit.
It's a real honor to be here.
You're a little irritated about how long it took maybe because
Well, you know what, as well, what I've noticed that I've come on here to Ann Marie's podcast and she's brushed her hair for her podcast. But see, on my podcast,
what was it?
she's got earrings in, she's brushed her hair, you're actually looking great, you're glowing.
Okay. What did I do with
on
my
my
hair
podcast.
on your podcast?
On my podcast, doesn't even look like her hair's seen a brush that day.
I don't think that's true.
Comes in here, washing machine blaring.
It's true. That is true.
So yeah, I'm so happy to be here. I'm actually just chuffed to see you because I enjoy our chats.
Yeah, you're so funny.
This is a nice way to spend the day.
It really is. Every time I talk to you, I just laugh so much. I was a little bit grouchy today. And I thought, oh, well, this will be cured by my conversation with Kristeen.
We'll have a good time.
Okay, so the dark side is the thing that was so revelatory to me because for the first part of my fitness, particularly in yoga, because I used to do a ton of yoga, I thought that people who had their bodies sorted out were sorted out. Like I thought if you were able to have that kind of consistency and discipline, that you must really have it all together. And I really followed what they said. And it started to crack a little bit as I got older, but it was when I ran a website here in the UAE called Live Healthy. It was the first health and wellness website for men and women in this region, but loads of expats. And I started to get the stories behind the scenes. I started to hear about the people who owned the yoga studios, and I started to hear about the trainers that were like these glistening trainers and huge social media presence. I started to hear what was going on behind the scenes. And it's really messed up, like really big problems with people, I mean, interpersonal problems, eating disorders, like everything you said. And then from then on, I just thought this is so crazy because these people are showing everyone else how they should be and their bodies look so good. But I almost feel like in some cases that can mean that the inside isn't taken care of. So anyway, just what are your thoughts on all of it?
It's a lot, isn't it? Right.
Yeah.
So what are your listeners like? I feel that my listeners and my clients and the coaching and all that would really struggle to relate to that style of coach. You know, like the kind of person who has got it all together, you know, how when it's presented on Instagram. So right away, they don't feel relatable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I was 21, a coach, living the life, doing all, I was probably not relatable. It's as we've got older, you know, working with women, perimenopause, and how roller coasty and how you feel about yourself and your identity and, you know, your self-esteem. And I feel like a lot of the coaches are well out of touch with that for a start.
Yeah.
So you've got these people that, you know, present themselves in a certain way, that they've got their shit together. As you said, like, you know, you're watching them on Instagram doing 7 hours of food prep and you're like, do I need to do that? You're dancing, like trying to do cooking for 4 different kids in the house that they all don't like the same thing. And what now on a Sunday, on your day off, you now need to food prep.
Yeah.
Is that really... So firstly, I think the fitness industry is unrelatable. I can't relate to most on it. Can you?
No, I can't. And now that I know this, now that I have this backside perspective, I just can't stop myself from wondering what's going on behind the scenes, because I don't know. I can't relate. I can't relate to the tiny perfect clothes, and I can't relate to just the, sort of presentation. I don't know what I want. I don't really know what I want from people like that. I don't like it.
I think that it's, when I was at my peak of low body fat use, I was like loads of abs, all that. I was the worst place I've ever been mentally, because one of the reasons I can't relate to people like that anymore is because I love myself for who I am now. So I feel like, when you're putting up this picture perfect, you're chasing this, everything's got to the gram of rice and broccoli and no sauce chicken, and it really comes from a place of punishing yourself.
Yeah.
So a lot of these coaches, a lot of these people you see on, Instagram, social media, I actually feel like you're a poor soul, because you are really probably coming from a place of punishing yourself and not loving yourself.
Yeah.
So it attracts that, and especially as well, you're getting judged on your body.
Yeah.
So it can really come from, like what you said, it's that self-loathing, like, you're not looking at the good things about yourself, you're constantly scrutinising yourself, and I think that culture breeds, and especially as we know in perimenopause, eating disorders, they can get worse. It's that kind of change in your life where you start to lose yourself, maybe your kids get older, you're finding a new you, there's lots of things that come into play, and then I think the fitness industry can really ramp that up for you. So it is just trying to pick through what's real and what's not. And how can we do that now? AI, social media, like how can you spot a real person? Do you think you just feel do you think you can? Are you good at just going, I click with that, authentic? Because I hope people can do this.
I know. I don't know. I mean, I just saw really like a woman in her 70s, and I'm pretty sure it was AI. And I just couldn't, I think it was because just like her skin was so perfect. You just don't have like perfect skin in your 70s usually.
No. Unless
you've been getting like full body dermabrasion or whatever. Like those are the giveaways, I think. Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm curious about how you changed, like your evolution.
My evolution was a lot to do with having kids, probably, and would I be raging if they came in doing the crazy diets that I used to do? Yes, I would be. I want them to, grow up loving the skin they're in. So how could I really not change when I want to be a good role model for them, And I think as well, see, showing up for yourself and taking care of yourself as opposed to punishing yourself, it breeds a self-esteem, showing up, confidence, and that is where it changed for me. I used to be like, very punishing, but I came from a background of like, I was hiding the fact that I was gay. I was really struggling with that. So I felt a lot of shame. And so what it did, because I couldn't control that, I started to control my food.
Yeah.
I started to be really punishing in the gym. If I get to this shape, then I'll feel different. Got to the shape, didn't feel different. I didn't do any of the internal work. So it was only when that started, I started working on, mindset, which is the irony. You're at the gym, you're pounding it, but you don't do any of the mindset work. You've missed a huge part out. So for me, it was that. And it's still a work in progress. What it's like when you're in the 90s diet, it still rears its head and goes, like the Special K advert, pinch an inch. Yeah. Pinch an inch. Crazy stuff.
Yeah. And things have changed so quickly because, I mean, I was just loving the body positivity in my late 40s movement,
Yes.
And then it's just gone poof away, and it feels like the last 5 minutes where, you could be, it was recognized that you could be healthy if you weren't thin, and now it's just thin. It's everything's so thin. And it's almost so like, thin. Why aren't you doing the thing that you can do to be this thin? It's like crazy to me to see all these people just flip.
I'm the same. I think, when I started in the fitness industry when I was 18, 19, so I was taking women for gym inductions and everybody was obsessed with the thigh gap. You couldn't get women through to train weights. They were all like, no, I'll just stick to the cardio or remember the toning tables.
What's
You
the
just
toning
lay
table?
down. You lay down basically and the table moved you around.
That sounds awesome. I don't remember.
Doritos as well. Just no, so it actually moved you about. So all the guys are in the weights doing things that's actually going to be beneficial, and the women are just trying to shrink themselves in the cardio. And then it came back round though, didn't it? It was like, I was starting to get young girls going, I want, strong legs, I want big shoulders. And I was like, wow, this is cool. Okay. We had that period and now it's creeping back in. It's creeping back in.
Teensy tiny. I mean, I don't think I would spend 90 minutes on the Stairmaster, I think. And then I would always intend to do the weights after, but then I would run out of time because 90 minutes is a lot to spend at the gym.
And energy.
Yeah.
And
then I would be
energy.
sweating and I just always, it was like cardio. That's like the thing that I did. I missed the toning table though. I did do, my friend and I were really into jazzercise in our,
a bit of
20s.
jazzercise.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah, we were into the jazzercise.
Yeah, it's still about. Clubber size, it's called, is still around. I think it's just when you're middle-aged and you can't go to the nightclub anymore.
I know this
have
is
to
why
go
it's
to the
crazy
gym
because
to
it was in our
dance.
neighborhood. We were like 24 years old and we would go to jazzercise and we would laugh so
Go
hard.
to the rave.
Yeah. So what do you see in you work with a lot of perimenopausal women. What do you
Yes.
see? What commonalities do you see between them?
I try and shield them from a lot of things as well, but I've seen somebody sent me something. Have you seen the Kylie Jenner cutting jelly?
No.
Oh man. It's this little, like, like if you imagine like a little sachet, like a sugar sachet, a wee sachet, and you open it up and it's a little bit of jelly.
Okay.
So she's having that instead of snacking.
Oh, is she
she's
selling it?
She's promoting it.
Oh,
So
cutting
it's
jelly.
called
So when you're doing a cut,
cutting.
yeah.
No, not when you're doing a cut. Like obviously we are thinking a cut like bodybuilder. She's
Yeah.
just talking about like time to cut weight. So she's got a picture of herself like, dead leaned out in a skin tight dress showing you, and then showing you the jelly, and she's in her car like eating the jelly strip, mate. Like honestly, a strip of jelly. So what's that coming out now? So we've got this. So I'm like trying to shield all my women from this kind of stuff because like we're really on an uphill battle. Have you not seen this? I'm dying for you.
I've not
to see
seen
the
it. I
cutting
can't believe
jelly
I
now.
haven't seen it. It's not like I haven't
It's
spent
just
a lot
out.
of time on social media. It just didn't make its way to me.
It's not made its way yet, but
No.
what's that message then? Cutting jelly like you're instead of eating.
Instead of eating. That's crazy. That's crazy. What do women want when they come to you?
Women, because I portray a certain image on social media, kind of anti-diet culture and all that, I attract the women that are kind of sick of that kind of grim dieting. They've tried it, that kind of on and off the wagon sort of chat. I don't want to do this anymore, restarting Mondays, all this kind of thing. So I kind of promote women to get out the food jail. So by the time women come to me, they're looking for sustainable lifestyle choices. I tend to kind of, when people are looking for a quick fix or a 12 kind of week transformation, the ones where you're in the gym with oil, covered in oil, and you've done something for 12 weeks, that's not my bag. So I tend to say this wouldn't be for you. So for me, it's now, which I'm happy about, women looking for something sustainable. They want to try the weight training because they've heard it's good for, the usual bones and all that. So I do get them at that stage. I don't get so many people now looking to drop loads of weight, which that's what I want to work with now.
Yeah.
Because it's a long road if you're still, doing all that, the diets, the body checking. So I get them at a point where they're absolutely scunnered. That's a Scottish word for fed up. And they want to do something different. They want something sustainable, something that's not flipping their life upside down.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many things have you done where you've had to now I'm drinking my lunch. So if somebody asks me out for my lunch, I can't go because I need to have a shake. How many things have you done? Diets.
Well, loads when I was younger. I would
Yeah.
say sort of, I would say I didn't do a lot of crazy dieting after about my 30s because that's when I started to realize about, I had a lot of gut issues from 30 on, but I started to realize about like the Atkins diet was big around when I was 30, but it
Yeah.
helped. I did go on the Atkins diet. I went on all the diets, the cabbage soup diet, all of them, Weight Watchers
Cabbage
before
soup,
that.
like,
You just eat cabbage soup for like 5 days.
yeah.
But the Atkins diet, I credit because when I tried it, and I remember eating like sausage and cheese, and my friend saying, this can't be a diet. What I did realize was that, when you ate protein, you weren't as hungry. And I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I had always, when I stopped eating a lot of bread, my gut was so much better and I wasn't tired after I ate. And so I kind of credit that diet for helping me realize that I needed to eat more protein and, less of like white bread sandwiches and things like that. And since then, because before that, I always had these crazy dips and crashes in my hunger, right? Like I would just be, and my energy. And I would eat like I was it's taken me a long time to realize I was a binge eater. I had binge eating.
Would you say that? Yeah.
I would say,
Do you
yeah,
think
like I
that's to
never
do with
trauma.
neurodiversion?
Maybe, yes. But from as little as I can remember, like I wrote a comment on Lara Bryden, who's a women's health expert. I weirdly, a couple of years ago, wrote this huge comment that should have actually probably just been in my diary. But for some, she was
Overshare.
she was asking people. To be fair, she asked for perspectives on eating issues. But I wrote about this time that when I was young, like I used to binge eat things in the house. So I ate like almost a whole container of frosting, like Duncan Hines ready, disgusting, right? Like there was a little bit gone and I ate the whole thing. And I would come home and make cookie dough and eat it. And I was getting quite like chubby, but I ate the frosting, and my mom, who was a lovely woman, so I went and bought more frosting and then ate enough to put it back in the fridge to make it seem like it was the same frosting. But you know what, Mom? Of course she knew. Like, I don't know how. I don't know. My efforts were not. And I remember her saying, like, who ate the frosting and then went and bought another frosting and put it in the fridge?
You're like, what?
I do not know who that could be. But in the comment I left on Laura's page, which she said, hey, that was like really, that's really touching. I said, why didn't someone say, why did you eat so much frosting? Like, what was going on? Like, that's pain, clearly. That's a disgusting thing to do. And then I even get emotional about it because it went on for quite a long time. And I remember standing at my kitchen sink and eating like one of those whole rows of Ritz crackers with peanut butter and just feeling so good. The chewing, it was calming me and calming me and calming me. And I did that for a long time. And then sometime in my 30s, I figured out a little bit about it. Still didn't really deal with my emotions and stuff. Didn't figure that out till I was in my 40s, but there was less binging. But I still, if I was getting stressed out or whatever, when I got into my 40s, I would eat healthy food. And then I would sometimes like binge on like healthy food. Anyway, it's getting boring, but it's like something through my life. And it's, when you like hear other people binge eat, but you're like, well, that's not me because I don't throw up and I don't eat so much till I feel sick. But I did sometimes,
Yeah, but you're, grabbing like granola, and it's just that it's definitely a mindless way of eating. So I had a woman talking to me, and she said, oh, I had 2 digestive biscuits. I feel really bad for it. Right. So that's one of the issues right there. And I'm sure your listeners will relate to this. So they think when I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to start a diet, I'm going to have to eat all the bad stuff in the house and then not have that again. So I say to them, can you do this for the next 10 years? Because if you can't do this for 10 years, don't do it for one day. Don't do it, right?
That is so good.
I actually do the opposite. I do a bit of exposure therapy on them where I say, right, listen, we're going to sort you a snack, a bit of chocolate every single day. And you're going to sit down with a cup of tea and you're going to enjoy it. Do not eat that chocolate unless you're going to sit down and you're going to enjoy it, cup of tea, whatever. And then sometimes they don't have it on those days. They go, I didn't have it yesterday. But when you are restricting, you're killing consistency. So that exposure therapy, like the problem isn't your digestive biscuit, it's your behaviour around food. Look at you standing, gorging at the sink with the crackers. Like that's your behaviour around food. It's not the food, it's the behaviour. So that exposure therapy works so well, and people are always shocked, like, oh God, really? I'm like, yeah, every day, curly whirly, something nice, sit down, enjoy it, and it takes away the restriction, takes away the food jail, and it allows you a bit more food free. Like, I'm all about flexible dieting, because see, as soon as you start to restrict, if you've got a family, if you've got kids, if you're working,
Oh God, with all that
too
food,
strict, man. How are you fitting this in? How are you doing it?
Yeah.
So let's, like, you know, do a bit of exposure therapy and show you that, you know, you can have something that you fancy just for pure joy. You know, let's face it, a snack usually isn't because you're hungry, it's because you want just a little something, isn't it? You just want something. So sit down, enjoy that something. That's a moment of joy if you're going to have it. And that really does change a lot for people, you know, because then they have the option. Maybe sometimes they don't have it, but if they're going to have it, they sit and enjoy it. They don't think about it again. Whereas you'll know when you were on your cabbage soup diet, food noise.
Yeah.
That's all you think about, because somebody goes, you're not having that. This is what you're having only. So that's all you can think about. It's the purple elephant. Don't think you're a purple elephant.
Yes and
you've just
no.
got a purple elephant.
What's a purple elephant? If you don't think about a purple elephant, you'll all have to.
It's a sit in psychology. It's like, you know, if we say don't think about a purple elephant, usually now you've just thought of a purple elephant. So when somebody says to you, don't have any chocolate, I'm telling you right now, then you kind of think about chocolate. So that's what these diets kind of set you up for failure before you've even started, really.
This is a funny thing that my bestie and I always talk about, though, because in my perimenopause, I had a lot of body pain. And
did you? Just like the random kind of
really just terrible body pain. And when I worked out, I would be really sore.
Yeah.
And I was like, my hips were sore. And I have had that kind of body pain since after my father died. I think like after that trauma, like it sort of went into my body. But I went on the whole food diet specifically to try and tackle the body pain, and it worked. And on that whole food diet, I just ate whole food, right? I just didn't eat anything processed for a month, which a lot of people think is really, really restrictive and will promote this kind of overeating that you're talking about. But it was really transformative for me. And my best friend did it too. And so we always talk about how that is actually how we really like to eat, because we just feel so good. We just feel so good.
Yeah, I mean, you will do. But there is, you know, health and joy. But you've just said I did it for a month. No,
I eat like that most of the time. Like most of the time, but I have like treats. I'm not, you know, if I go out to dinner, if I like, I'll have chocolate, I'll have whatever.
That's how it needs to be.
Most of the time I will eat whole food because,
it should be 80% whole food, 20% soul food.
Yeah.
And if you try and not have that little cheeky soul food, that's just for pure joy, then you will often find that's when you fall off the wagon. That's when you think food is bad or good. So if you've been bad, if you say to yourself, I've been bad, what's the feelings after that? You're like raging, guilt, shame. And normally you spiral for days after that. And then you also press the F it button. So then the next 4 days are like a bomb scare. Instead of going, you know, right, I was out for my lunch with my girlfriend, I had a brilliant time, that's it, done. You don't think of food as bad and good. So you're just like that. I'm eating whole foods, I enjoy it. Yeah. I'll still go out, I have a bit of chocolate when I want it. That's the ultimate dream, but you have to do a process to get to where you've got. Yeah. But ultimately, I love when my clients get to your spot where you're like, enjoying it, do it, and it's not like a big overthinking.
Yeah, but I'm 55. It's taken me a long time.
Right, everyone at 55, when people ask me then, how long is this going to take? I'll be like, till you're 55.
Yeah, it's going to take a long time.
55 years old.
It's a long life to figure this stuff out. Anyway, I think it's really interesting that we bring so much of this, and I can tell right away if someone's still really struggling with it, because they'll just talk about like what they haven't done, what they're going to get back to. Can you tell this with clients? Like you can tell when they're still having like the inner and I this is a lot of women in their 40s. I can just feel them twisted up because they're like explaining to me. And so can you tell me how that presents to you?
Well, do you think I think in perimenopause, a lot of women start to like reassess themselves. It's a big life change. You feel like you're aging, which sometimes hits women hard. You know, you're kind of coming to your end of your reproductive years as well. There's something to do with that. So I think that, you know, and also your kids grow up. So see if you've been like pure mum mode up until like that age, and then your kids start to do things for themselves and you start to feel a bit lost. I think that's how a lot of like obsessive behaviours can rear their head again for women in perimenopause, because they've got this bit of white space they didn't have.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? You know how that way
Yes.
trauma and stuff can revisit you in perimenopause, and you're like, where did that come from? What is that? And it's like, I think it's because of that, you know, and our hormones are changing, which changes our brain chemistry.
Yeah.
Like, we know this.
Yeah.
It can make you feel anxiety you didn't have. You're thinking, who is this person?
Yeah.
So then that will transfer them on to doing things like maybe stuff they did for their health and fitness in their 20s, you know, where they didn't eat for a weekend.
Yeah.
Doesn't work now. It doesn't work as you get older. It's much harder to do. You know, I could starve myself for a full weekend, but now the thought of that, I would be strangling kids in here. I couldn't do that now. My tolerance isn't the same, and it isn't the same in perimenopause. You don't deal with stress the same. You're a wee bit shorter fused. So I think then women do that. I think there's that white space where you start to go, who is this? Maybe a bit of panic as well, you know?
Yeah, and I
Body
think there's
changing.
also with the kids. I mean, I haven't had kids, and I've had one thing I have been forced to do in my life is figure out my place in the world and my identity outside of what I'm supposed to be doing, right? I'm supposed to be a mom and a wife, and I haven't managed to accomplish that in my life. And so I see in women when the looming fear of when the kids leave,
Yes.
that you will have to go through a huge identity shift.
Yes.
I think you're almost like being pre-scared over knowing that that's coming, because it's so all consuming with kids. Like it's
So all consuming, yeah.
yeah.
And then dealing with that and the perimenopause symptoms that some women are getting, and then, you know, it's the identity shift, I think, that is the struggle. And then so when you combine that with the dark side of the fitness industry, there you go. There's a big shit sandwich for you. So it's having to not give in.
How do you help? Because do most of your clients have kids? Like, this is just, I'm wondering, like, how do you get them to fit this into their life when there's no...
It has to be a moving part, right? Because kids, when I first kind of came on the scene with my wife and the kids, I was like, you know, that person, that guy you dated, you know, when he was having his chicken and rice at, 12 o'clock, nothing got in the way of that.
Yeah.
And then I would be training twice a day. So kids then I was probably quite OCD and quite anxious about my routine being changed. And then if MD obviously has kids, they'll know it's a total like bomb scare of your routine. Things are happening, shit's hitting in the fan. So I started to go, oh my God, like I've been so strict with the mums I used to train pre-kids. I was awful. I was apologising, and I have had a taste of my own medicine, and it's quite hard to swallow. So I then realised, I need to come up with something that's changeable and moving to help these women. Like, it has to be something that is movable with your life. Like, your health and fitness has to be a moving part. So I find it a lot easier because of the online. Before, when it was like the gym PT and you used to come in to see me, right? And you were frazzled. You'd had a night up with the kids, and I come in and I'm like, how are you not doing your burpees? How are you not doing this? Sometimes now I think to people, they'll message me online and say, my kid's been up all night. I'm like, let's move your workout. Listen to this podcast instead. That's what you need now. So I'm able to meet women where they're at. And I think that's important, because where you're at does change on a daily. And it's just life. It's not even just with kids. It's like just when you get older and you've got stuff to do and work to do, you're not 20, just living it up, doing what you want. Rubbish.
Oh, I miss it. I miss it. And there were no phones when I was 20.
So much.
There were no phones. I didn't have a phone.
How did you communicate? What, did you use a pigeon? Like, how did you get a hold of people?
Well, we used to go meet people, and you would just meet them there. You would make arrangements on the phone in your home, and then you would hook up with them. I don't remember like tons of people not connecting.
That's so fun.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't remember.
Listen, I know I didn't have a phone either at one point. The first kind of thing I had was a pager.
Oh, I never had a pager. I like missed that. But it's more that I wonder what I did half the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what was I doing on a Saturday? Like, I know I always loved reading the newspaper. So I would read like 4 newspapers, and I would do my laundry and clean my house, and I would like...
Sitting yourself.
Yeah. Like, I think, Yeah, but I guess you're kind of doing the same thing now because anyway, I don't know. Everything's so eaten up.
You get to suit yourself and then you get a period. It's called I mean, you even like have to watch what you say at a certain point in your life. It's called like the Everglass effect. Have you heard of it? So like you start and you're free and you can say what you want, you can do what you want. And then you get to this in your 30s and it goes in the way. And you have to watch what you say. You have to be good, be a good wife, be a good mum, do all the good things, do everything right. And then as you hit like menopause, again, you start to just not give a shit and start to say what you think. Like if you came across that in your, like with your pals and all that, like even you're like, whoa, right, she's going to say exactly what she's thinking here. I know.
No, it's more me. I feel like it's more me. Like I feel like I've always been like that. And then I've said what I think and then people have reacted weirdly. And so then I've always felt really stupid. And now I'm just getting to the point where I'm like, don't say it to the people who are going to react weirdly and don't care. Like, because
don't care.
I always thought, okay, this is the greatest thing that happened with menopause that you've got to look forward to. I think there's some really great things. But one of them is that I always thought everyone else knew better than I knew. I would have these ideas and some of them were really good and I would say them out loud and then people would say why they were a bad idea and then I would believe them and not do them. I thought other people knew what they were doing. And what's been proven to me through my career, through my life experience is that time and time again, most people don't know what they're talking about.
Love.
And even people who seem like they're successful, like the people who go on and on are the ones that don't. I've come across business people, like so many in this fitness industry revelation. Yes. And so why on earth would you ever trust like another human just to know any more than you know on a subject when you actually know about the subject? Like I like investing in crypto and I like testing this theory with people because I'll just raise crypto. And then they'll tell me why it's bad and wrong and stupid without knowing anything about it. And so this is just like solidified my 55-year-old. People will anyway, this is one of the greatest things. I now trust myself. And it's taken me till 55, Kristeen. It's taken me till this time. I always, whether it was investing or whether it was fitness or food or whatever, I know what I like. And I always wanted to grow. I'm like, okay, I need to expand and grow. I don't want to limit myself. I need to be open to what everyone else is saying. I'm still open, but in a way that it's like with a boundary. You know what I mean? It's like not.
That's the key word.
Yeah. That was a long soliloquy I just gave you, but I feel so passionate about this.
Yeah, but it's the boundary you've got. And I feel like as well, my clients that I get from like say 35 onwards are like there's zero boundaries going on because they are doing everything for everyone because they're still at that point. They're still at that point in life. And then, you know, they're doing everything. They're pairing all the socks. They're getting all the kids ready for all the various different clubs, pack lunches, school trips, getting the husband's golf clubs ready for him to go away for the day. But they've still to look sexy and make sure that, you know, they're up for it and that their body's good. And so I think it's like a pure collision at this point in life. And as we age, you know, like things slow down a bit. You're not going out dancing to the nightclubs for a full weekend. You're probably sitting watching crime documentaries with some nice little munchies. So like things slow down. You maybe do.
You don't want to. You just don't want to. It's great.
You know, and that's okay. But you start to go, oh my God, this isn't me. This body's changing. Is it menopause? I'm terrified. I'm on social media and it's saying it's cortisol, estrogen. What do I do? Yeah. So it becomes very difficult.
They're saying it's cortisol. They're saying it's estrogen. What do I do? Yeah, that just sums it up, right? What you described with women is a lot of overfunctioning. Like all that stuff has to be done, right? Like all of the stuff has to be done in your household and in your relationship and at work. But it's the overfunctioning and then the internal resentment that develops that you're not acknowledging that I feel causes a lot of problems at perimenopause because the hormones start receding and then the overfunctioning becomes like you become angry about it. So you're doing things and then you're angry about it. And then it's like you have to examine that or you're going to have some sort of breakdown, I would think, because...
And pair that with not sleeping well. Some people don't have the disrupted sleep. Pair that with that. Pair that with feeling out of control of your food because you've not slept well. So you're putting on a bit of timber. Pair it with all that. And then you do have this perfect storm for women to try and have to, you know, work backwards and unpick it and then diet culture. It's very difficult. That's why I do work with women, because I feel like they need the most help. You know, with things like this, I feel like I can make the biggest difference to them. My guy clients, pretty straightforward, easy,
Yeah.
nothing much going on. We
Yeah.
don't even speak. You know, they'll send me a message now and then. That's it. They don't want to hear from me. My women, like, they need that support.
Yeah. Oh, it's a
Boundaries, like you
hard
just
time.
said.
It's a
Oh, man.
hard time. And if you've got stuff in your relationship, you know, every relationship that you have, I've had lots of relationships. We all get the basement of stuff we don't talk about, right? And it just gets bigger and
Yeah.
bigger and bigger
Yeah, yeah.
as the years go on. And then, or it doesn't, or you have the kind of relationship where you work stuff out. But a lot of people my age don't have that kind of relationship where they talk about things like that. And so that, yeah, that's the Gen X. You know, we're much different. Like Gen X is a much different time. Our parents maybe didn't communicate like that. We didn't see it. We didn't start, we got together with our projections of each other, and people have been together for 30 years. I have a girlfriend from high school who said that her and her husband went to therapy one time, and it's like was way too real, and they just agreed that they would leave and never talk about that stuff again, and they would be fine moving forward, and it worked.
That either really worked or really didn't.
Yeah, I think
Do you
it
know what I mean?
worked. Like, I think they just were like, let's just go from here.
Yeah,
Because the thought was so terrifying of unpacking their entire. Anyway, it's crazy.
that's interesting. I do love that kind of thing, and see the difference from training guy, because I do train both. It's just that my market is more women,
Yeah.
but my guy clients are so different to train compared to my women clients.
Tell me.
They get better results. They're one track mind.
Yeah.
Women are like, oh, I've got this today, I've got that. And the guys, you know, I had a guy, and when I was younger, he was in training. He's in doing his biceps with me. And I was like, is your missus not just had a baby? And he's like, yeah, but she's just breastfeeding it. I'll go back. What's a couple hours out the day? Now, can you imagine a woman that just gave birth down at the gym with me going like that? It's fine. It's cool. I'll do it later.
Oh,
He was in the gym. He was in the gym with me, training his arms like that. I need to look good for the photographs with the baby.
Yeah.
I was
And
like,
if she was there the day after, or whatever, not the day after, but too soon after, people would be like, why was she in the gym? Like, women put up, there's a lot with women. Like, I'm not one of these people that's blaming the patriarchy for everything, but there are impossible standards for our behavior.
impossible standards. Like,
Yeah.
look at what we have. We have, like, in the 90s, I was just saying this, Kate Moss. Like, how are you getting that thin?
Yeah. I like your hair.
Do you like it? A line of Coke and a can of Red Bull diet. You know, because I get women like going a thigh gap, and I'm like, the things you would need to do to get the thigh gap are going to make you not well.
I was obsessed with the thigh gap, and I could never get it because I used to be a figure skater, and I had naturally larger thigh.
Genetically, just you know, some people have got-
Yeah. Sometimes at the beach, I'll put my legs up on the chair, and I've seen people post pictures like this on social media, and it always makes me laugh because I will be on the chair at the beach going like, "Look, I have a thigh gap," but I don't. It's just.
you can angle it.
So I see women who post that picture. I'm like, I know what you're doing. You're pretending you have a thigh gap.
Listen,
But you don't. You don't, and it's okay.
And it doesn't matter. And it doesn't honestly matter, because is the thigh gap going to help you as an older lady getting up the stairs? No.
No, those thighs are going to help you. Those bigger
Those
thighs.
those strong thighs, that strong body, not the thigh gap. It's not helping you.
No.
But again, it's just standards.
Do you think, all the discourse about perimenopause and menopause that's out there, I think the reason I love you is because you're hilarious and your accent is the best. And but I love your approach. Like, I also love how you dress up. You have to check out Kristeen, Keeping Fit, KPING Fit. And she likes to dress up in outfits, and it's hilarious. It's really, really funny. But one of the reasons I like you is because you are so reasonable. You are aware of this obsession with estrogen and understand how progesterone could be more helpful for women in perimenopause. How did you kind of come to that conclusion in all this, working through all this sort of chaos of messaging that's been going on?
I think as well, because I used to be crazy. I mean, can I tell everyone about how I used to put coffee up my ass?
You did a coffee colonics?
I used to do them.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I got kind of, I wouldn't say it was a cult. I mean, I wasn't you know, it wasn't like white tents and stuff, but I was taken by this woman who was like a sort of health guru. And, you know, she was like, I was young as well and at the peak of an eating disorder. So if anything was going to make me look thinner, I would do it. And that included shoving coffee up there. So, I mean, I was doing stuff like that and thinking that it was going to work. So, I mean, I've came from serious misinformation. I was also encouraging people to put coffee up there.
Right.
So I do like to apologise if MD here has ever done that because of me, you know, but then there's no science behind that. And back when we, like, the start of the fitness industry, when I was there was no way of getting the real evidence. There was nobody like, you know, who you do have today, who you can follow and say, you know, they're scientists and they'll give you the real, because I'm very like logical in the way I think, you know, I need it to be absolutely explained. How does this work?
Yeah.
But back in the day, you couldn't really do that. So you were just believing stuff like, you know, the Special K diet kept your metabolism working.
Yeah.
People used to think that the metabolism was a little box that you would have to switch on in the morning and fuel for the rest of the day. I didn't know what it was. There was no way of finding out. So that was just, it's a whole whirlwind of misinformation. But with the evidence stuff, you can clearly research, and I like to research, so I can see what's real and what's not real. And for me, it's been so good not to feel crazy and do crazy stuff, like ruining my white towels with coffee enemas every Sunday.
Right. Every Sunday?
Yeah, man.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes more.
Wow. Sometimes more.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you ever like knew me maybe, you know, 15 years ago, I'd be like that, Ann Marie, do you want to come for a coffee? And you'd be like, yeah. And then you would come to my house and I'd have a blue bag
And
waiting on you. I'd be like that. How would you like it cooler or hotter? You know what I mean? That's with the tube and some coconut oil.
Was it a
Because
special
you had
kind
to
of
lube it up.
Oh my God. Was it a special kind of coffee?
It was, you could get organic filtered coffee, so you could buy it in like a regular supermarket. But what am I doing? Like, where is that damaging? I'm blowing coffee up there. And obviously I was like that, you feel energized. Yes, because you've just put caffeine up your ass. Of course you feel energized. But it was making me feel a bit thinner.
Yeah.
And lighter.
Yeah, I'm not
Obviously.
Surprised.
Yeah, because you're evacuating. Because, you know, when you do an enema, you need to keep it in for a wee while.
I feel thinner after a colonoscopy too, but that doesn't mean I would have one.
No, listen, I feel thinner after the flu.
Yeah.
But I don't want it.
Yeah.
So
I had one.
Yeah.
I had one colonoscopy, not colonoscopy. I had one, colonic.
Yeah.
I had one in Thailand. I went to the Chivasam resort there, and it was part of the protocol. And I was supposed to have 3, and I had the one, and I was like, what am I doing to myself? Yeah. The minute it started, I was like, I feel like I'm going to blow my colon out. I'm going to end up in an ER. I was panicking, and she was like, no, look at all the old stuff that's coming out. And I was like, I want this to be over, and I never want to do it again. And they were shocked. Like, no one's ever turned down their other 2 colonics.
I mean, you did you have the one where the women standing with the tube?
Well, yeah, but there was a tube, if you can believe it, that went up across the room. And so it was like a clear tube, so you could see.
So you're just
I was just
watching.
Like, how weird is that? And she was
so
like,
weird. Whilst the women,
don't worry, it's
going to
be fine. It's going to be fine. I'm like, I felt like it was my insides were going to explode. And I always think, is that how it's going to be the end of me? You know, is that going to be it? Ann Marie was having a colonic in Thailand, and then her colon exploded, and then she died.
She was a great girl. The women standing with the tube up your ass, though. I mean, so she's like, you going to any nice holidays? Like, you're just lying there, like,
and you're like, no. It was very.
I was just in the house myself. I mean, doing them, you know, just on a Tuesday like that, right?
Were you with your wife at this point?
No. Okay. She actually really normalized me, if I'm being honest, because she is absolutely stunning. She's got a gorgeous shape. Like, her shape is beautiful. And I remember, like, one of our first dates, she just was like, can I have a scone? And I was like, I hadn't ate a scone for 10 years. And I was looking, and she was like, do you want to half it? And I was like, no. And obviously I'm screaming inside going, oh my God, I'm going to put fat on. And then I was like, yes, okay. So she would just eat normal. She would, like, at night time when she used to come and visit me in the flat, I would be up and down all night snacking. And she ate her dinner, and then she was like, I'm full. Her food just off switch was so good. Yeah. And it was somebody in real life that was in good shape and still ate scones and still ate what she wanted. And, you know, didn't eat
love
the full
this.
plate of dinner. So it was actually her that did cure me the most out of everyone.
Yeah, like I love this idea that relationships, this is what I want in my life because I haven't had a relationship in a while. I actually stopped dating for 2 years, but I want,
Did you want a
yeah,
break?
because I just kept attracting the same kind of person
Oh yeah, no,
that's
it's
not
difficult, man.
available, seems available, but is not available. It was
Hmm.
like a lifelong thing. I've had long relationships, but there was one guy and I was like, nope, I have to stop this. And I finally got to a place, but I like that idea that it's not like someone fixes you. It's not like you complete me, but I like the idea of
No,
two souls and then they connect and they have something for each other. And like you needed her and she was just normal
yeah,
and you just needed that mirror.
yeah.
That's like, to me,
We
that's beautiful.
That is, I mean, we bring out the best in each other.
Oh,
That's what I think a relationship should be. You
yeah.
know, like I've been with partners in the past who've brought out the craziest
Mhm.
version of me, and I've just thought, "Oh, no, like you just get to a point, don't you, where you actually don't have the energy
No,
for it or for who you are with them." And I'm like, no. And
no,
the
and
right
it's not.
person does come along when you're ready.
Well, it's nice for me to hear you say that because I don't. There's not that many people who talk about their relationships like you just did. To be honest, like
Really?
like yeah, I'd say of all the people I know that have relationships, there's not that many that I would really want where people are just really sort of affirmative like that. But um, you know, I do think it has to be like that, or why are you bothering? Like, why are you
I think that too.
getting like feeling uncomfortable with a person and lying to yourself about it? Like your best friends, you're not like that with. You wouldn't hang around people who make you
Yes.
feel uncomfortable, right? And so, yeah, that's nice. I'm glad I heard that.
Yeah, of course. Like we spend loads of time together, and she is my best friend. So I think that's important. I think that's so important. Like you say, like you're not going to spend time with friends that
No,
you don't feel good around. So then you've got these partners because why? You don't want to be cat lady. I'd rather be the cat lady than
oh,
have
it's
to
I am
really
right now.
feel
It's fun.
exhausted.
It's fun.
You
I'm a
know?
cat lady right now. We have
See?
way higher standards when it comes to dating men. I feel like women have, or some women, me, I had higher standards for my female friends than I did for the men that I would
Wow.
date, which is so
Really?
strange, right? Back to eating. Do you think that you can ever say you've gotten rid of an eating disorder?
No. I think it I think at moments it does come back. That's why I think obviously in menopause and stuff, I think that maybe if you did have it in your younger years, it can come back. But I do think that being mindful and knowing that and being able to be objective and talk to that side of you with a bit more care, like it's okay, like I know that you feel this way. Why do you feel this way? Let's, put it to the side. You're going to be cool. So I think you need that sort of voice of reason. That's what I am for most of the women. It's like people know how to train, they can get a training program, but they actually need that voice of reason. I say that I'm their anchor
Yeah.
to reality, because if not, Jesus Christ, they'd be lying there with coffee up their arse. Do you know what I mean? Worried about cortisol. Oh my God, I didn't think of that, did I? When I was blowing that up my ass, cortisol and coffee.
Oh my,
Could have had a
imagine what you
massive
were
cortisol
doing.
belly.
Does it drive you nuts when people talk about cortisol? Like it's,
Yeah, because like for example, my missus, she loses weight when she's high stress. Like she looks physically gaunt, she
yeah,
looks stressed. I put weight on when I'm stressed
yeah,
because I like to stress eat.
yeah.
So that's how it can work. Like it's not like anything uncontrollable. See, when you hear like it's cortisol or it's whatever, it really takes the power away from women. I don't like that. I think, if somebody to say to me all this confusing stuff, I wouldn't know where to start either. And I probably wouldn't start. So yeah, I don't like the cortisol chat. I think it's very predatory. I think it's like, people who already feel vulnerable and confused. And then you're like, well, what about cortisol? And you're like, oh
Yeah.
no. So I feel raging actually when I hear this.
Well, there's a lot of diagnosing going on, I find.
Yeah.
I find that even with me, like if you just say something like, I don't know. I don't know how to, I can't really take hormone therapy. It doesn't work for me. But if I mention that to certain people, then they start talking about why and what I'm not doing maybe right in my body. And I'm not, it's something that I would have eaten up in my 40s and I would have been like, what do you mean? Like, what can I fix? What can I
Yeah.
do? And it's
Yeah.
something now where I'm like, I'm not interested in actually your opinion
Yes.
on it.
Because you actually trust yourself now. That's you know better.
Yeah.
You're like,
This is what
nah,
makes
I'm
me
good. I know
nervous.
me.
This is
Yeah.
what makes me nervous about perimenopause, because having been that person for so long, I spent so much money. I abandoned myself so many times. I saw so many weird practitioners, so many strange people giving me their own like a massage therapist who's telling me I have like diagnosing, when you get a massage from a kind of like a person who doesn't have good boundaries, and then there's telling you, I think you have a gallbladder problem. And then I would worry about that, or I'd go to this person or this doctor or that doctor, not having any of this internal weather vane or boundaries. And so I worry so much because I was there, and it's terrifying. It's actually really terrifying. Because then you get one person telling you, about your cortisol. And then you're worrying about your cortisol when you don't need to be worrying about that. You just maybe need to calm down and do something every day that makes you feel safe.
You need to know what's your behavior when you're stressed. Are you eating when you're stressed? Are you eating your feelings? Are you doing a you and eating all the crackers at the sink? Like, it's things like that, like to make yourself feel better. Food's there. It's easy to grab on a Tuesday afternoon. So people like will not realise what that actually means for them. If you do have a real cortisol issue, then it's something that needs medical attention. It's not a diet off of an influencer for £50 on the internet. Like that's not the one. So if you do have serious cortisol issues, you have to see a doctor and go on medication and sort it out. But, on Instagram, you don't need to put credentials up. MD can say anything they want on social media. That's the issue.
And the people who talk a good game have always been the people who talk a good game. And it's crazy. But anyway, okay. Well, it is so good to have you on here. It won't be the last time. I'm sorry it took so long. I'm going to have you back.
Are you serious? Will it not be the last time?
Your cute accent. Okay. Can you tell everyone how they can engage with your work?
Definitely come and see my Instagram page. So it's KPING Fit, right? Ann Marie will put it somewhere for you. And then just watch through my stuff. I've got my podcast there. So there's free things. You can get to me without having to pay. So you can go on my YouTube. You can go on my podcast. Ann Marie is going to be there as well. And just enjoy the Instagram chat. And listen, you can reach out. I'm from the MSN generation. So I do chat online.
Okay.
So you can find me there. And I do love to connect.
Okay. And she's got a good program too, if you are interested in checking that out. Thank you so much.
Check it out.
Thank you,
mate.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. That me gone and away now. Do your washing now.
Hotflash Inc. was created and is hosted by Ann Marie McQueen, produced and edited by Sonia Mack. The information contained in this podcast is intended for informational purposes only and is not intended for the purpose of diagnosing, treating, curing, or preventing any disease. Before using any products referenced on the podcast, consult with your healthcare provider, read all labels, and heed all directions and cautions that accompany the products. Information received through the podcast should not be used in place of a consultation or advice from a healthcare provider. If you suspect you have a medical problem, i.e. menopause or anything else, or any healthcare questions, please promptly see your healthcare provider. This podcast, including Ann Marie McQueen and any producers or editors, disclaim any responsibility from any possible adverse effects from the use of any information contained herein. Opinions of guests on this podcast are their own, and the podcast does not endorse or accept responsibility for statements made by guests. This podcast does not make any representations or warranties about a guest's qualifications or credibility. This podcast may contain paid endorsements and advertisements for products or services. Individuals on this podcast may have direct or indirect financial interest in products or services referred to herein. This podcast is owned by Hotflash Inc. Media.